Last night on MasterChef Australia, a soul food challenge in Harlem, and a great day for Billy.
The fried chicken is a hit.
But it was the end for Sun.
I actually feel really light and happy walking out of Sylvia's. It's probably because I've come so far and I've learnt so much along the way.
Tonight,
welcome everybody to a special masterclass in New York City.
Alana and Michael get a once-in-a-lifetime tour of the foodie hotspots that New Yorkers love.
Arguably the best pizza in New York, this place has collected more awards than any other pizzeria in America.
New York's godfather of food, Daniel Boulud, shows how to use clay to make an unforgettable baked salmon. From the Carnegie Deli, Sandy Levine tells it how it is.
You're gonna eat it my way or the highway.
When it comes to his meaty classic, the Reuben sandwich.
Best sandwich I've ever had.
All right.
And one of America's top 10 pastry chefs, Steve Ebbets, shows how to make an extraordinary dessert.
Coffee oxygen is really, really light. It's amazing.
This has probably been the best week of my entire life. It all happened in New York, you know, the lifeblood of food. I don't want to go home.
There has been so many highlights, so many unforgettable experiences. I cannot wait to come back to New York and explore the city further.
It's the time of the week again that we love. It's Masterclass time, but this week, it's Masterclass in New York. So this is extra special.
Masterclass this week is going to be something totally new and different. I can't wait to get started. We're going to be learning some classic American dishes from the best in the US. Matt.
How are you, buddy? Welcome everybody to a special masterclass in New York City. It's time for you guys to sit down and relax and learn. Wow, what a week. How good is New York City? I don't know about you guys, but I've had the time of my life this trip. No wonder they call it the capital of the world. As always, we've got a little private masterclass planned for two of you. This is a little bit unusual. Gary and George are going to take you around and show you some sights in New York, some sights that are not the 3 Michelin star restaurants, but places that New Yorkers go and eat. Things that are really close to their hearts. Really good local spots to eat and great food. They're iconic and I know you're gonna love them. The two contestants that we've chosen are Alana and Michael. I think you guys have had a pretty good week in New York, so well deserving, and have a great day. I know it'd be amazing. In fact, I wish I could go too. But guys, George and Gary are waiting for you in Brooklyn, so we'll see you later.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Now, we thought we'd start this special masterclass off with one of the best in the business. Now, he started in France, moved to America, owns 6 restaurants in New York and 6 overseas, so 12 successful restaurants. He's commonly known in this city as the godfather of food. Reason being, there are so many successful chefs in this city that have once worked for him. He's most famous for his 3 Michelin star restaurant here in New York called Daniel. Please welcome Daniel Boulud.
Hello, Matt.
Welcome, Daniel.
How are you?
Yeah, very good to see you, buddy. I'll give you a hug.
Hello, candidate.
I am Daniel Boulu, chef owner at Restaurant Daniel in New York City. Restaurant Daniel is about 18 years old, and we have gained all the accolades one can dream of, including 3-star Michelin. We have been named Best Restaurant, Best Wine Service, Best Chef in New York, and for me, Best Chef in America. I am French. I think it's very important to keep your roots and to definitely be inspired by them.
So, Daniel, you've already met Ellie in the private masterclass that you gave her the other day.
Yes.
Now, being a Frenchman, why do you love New York so much?
The World Fair in 1939, 40, was in New York City, and many of them settled in New York and made some amazing restaurants. And so I felt, well, as a young chef, maybe before I settled in Lyon, my hometown, I just want to go and visit America.
And didn't come back again?
Well, 27 years later, I'm still in the same zip code. That's pretty good.
So, Danielle, what are you going to cook today for the contestants?
Well, we're going to do a Alaskan king salmon, baked in clay with figs and fennel.
Sounds fantastic. So what's our first step, Daniel?
Well, the first step we're going to do is to season the salmon and wrap it in fig leaf.
Yep. All right. So this is the seasoning here?
Yes.
A little bit of fennel there?
Fennel pollen, yes, absolutely. I love fennel pollen. I mean, this is sumac, and sumac will give a nice acidity with the dish. Will contain also some fruit like figs, so it will definitely give a nice balance of seasoning to that. And Espelette pepper, which is something you don't have in Australia. You have to buy it from Espelette, the village in the Pays Basque, near the Spanish border. First step, I'm gonna season the bottom of the pan here, so I can put the fillet of salmon right over that after. So we need a good layer of seasoning. You really have to calculate the ratio of thickness of what you're cooking and also the technique you are applying to it.
How much have you put down?
Total, you need about 1 to 1.5 teaspoons. And I'm preparing about for 6 serving here. So I'm gonna let this pick up the bottom, and then I'm gonna continue. So this is the Espelette pepper again. So that you also want to be evenly laid here.
Kate, you had a question?
With the Espelette pepper, what would be a suitable Australian alternative?
I suppose you couldn't use cayenne. Cayenne's probably too hot, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. I think we use also here in America Aleppo pepper, which is a Mexican pepper. And it's very, very similar to that. It has the good heat, but it has also a certain stability with it.
I think we have to travel to Mexico and grab some.
So you see, for the thickness of salmon, you want to give a nice rub. Basically, it's creating a rub on the salmon. So I'll put just a touch of olive oil to it. Voila, step 1.
Beautiful.
Now we wrap it.
So Danielle, where do you get your fig leaves from?
Those are from California, but interestingly enough, I have a friend who lives in Brooklyn. He's Italian, and he has a fig tree in his garden. And quite many Italians in Brooklyn or wherever they have a garden have fig trees here. And so strangely enough, you think that New York City might not be able to grow figs, but we do. So let's put a little bit of oil here on the bottom.
So we're just mapping it out so you can wrap the whole thing. A little bit of oil again.
And then place the salmon right here. So now we are wrapping the salmon. So as you see, the salmon will not touch the clay. And the fig leaves will give flavor to the salmon.
Danielle, that looks fantastic. Now this is what I'm interested in. Where do you get clay from?
Well, this clay, actually, I get from Minnesota.
Minnesota. So we're going to roll it out.
You can have fun. So you can buy, the clay can come in 20-pound block.
Danielle, can we get someone up here to help you do this?
Yeah. Katie?
Katie?
Kate?
Come on, Kate.
I'm a pro with Play-Doh.
Yeah? So basically what I want is for you to fill up that paper and get me about 1/3 of an inch.
My muscles. Oh, it's hard.
Kate, you ever worked with clay before?
I have actually. I was a primary school teacher in a previous life.
You're doing very well here.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Don't forget the fish is square, but that's okay.
I know, sorry.
We can always make it square.
Gives you an insight into my pastry making.
Fish don't come square normally, but in that instance, that's very good. Very good.
Does it make a difference, Danielle, if the clay is too thick or too thin?
Based on what you cook, you want a certain thickness of clay. So I think for the salmon, it's good. Yeah, no thinner than that. Perfect. We're gonna put the salmon like right there. And then, of course, I got smart before I got here, so I have already some roll to put on top.
Oh,
exactly. And so what you want is to actually get the air out of it by pressing on top first, and then lightly pressing on the side.
Yeah.
Voila.
Like a pillow.
Hello.
Look at that.
So now we can cut through the clay.
I should do more masterclasses, shouldn't I?
And take the layers out on the side. So you see the thickness by now?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a pretty good thickness of clay. Now let's do a little design. You can do some wave on it, and because it's a salmon, so it's nice. You can write your name in it.
Kate, I reckon you can go sit back down now.
Thank you.
Wow. Perfect. How long does this go in the oven and what temperature?
Well, based on the thickness, it's hard to say how long, but let's start with about 225 to 230 ovens.
And we use the probe for the...
And we have the probes where you can just probe as the salmon cook. It might take about 15 minutes to get to 55 in the center. Put it out and let it rest for 10 minutes about.
Perfect, let's put it in the oven.
Yep.
We're here with Daniel Blue, cooking his Alaskan salmon baked in clay. Salmon is in the oven. We're actually also going to serve it with some fennel and some figs. Where should we start, Danielle? With the fennel?
Yes, but also we have to start with the sauce, which takes the longest.
Yep.
I didn't want to bore you to it.
Yep.
So I already took a bottle of red wine, reduced down to a cup.
Yep.
And either you can put a little bit of sugar or a little bit of port wine, to balance a little bit the tannin. So you can put maybe maximum 20% of port wine to the red wine. And
so the port gives it that beautiful sweetness, yeah?
Absolutely.
And I have to ask,
richness as well.
I have to ask, is it French wine?
No, Australian, actually.
Okay. So we're just going to bring that back
So
to
we're
the
going to
boil.
reduce that, and with the wine, I'm going to add a little bit of diced figs. So the figs who are the ripest, so that will give a nice flavor of fig into it.
How many figs in there?
Oh, there's about 4 figs, I would say.
Yep.
And also some shallots, where I have some slice here. So give me a little bit of a fennel stick there.
Fennel stick?
Yes. The way I put also some into the fennel pieces. Voila, so here we have our reduction going on.
So we've got about 2 shallots in there also?
Yeah, 2 shallots and about 3 or 4 figs, depends how many you have.
And 1 stick of fennel.
1 stick of fennel. And with that, you're gonna also roast the figs here, a little bit of olive oil. I have some figs cut in half.
Yep.
So we need about 6, 8, maybe you cut a few more.
Yep.
And the fennel itself, I'm using the big bulbs of fennel for this recipe. So the fennel get cut in wedge. So for a big fennel like this, we cut it in about 6 wedge, I will say. No bigger than that. And then the wedge, you shape a little bit the heart, you shape the top. And of course, you peel also half through the skin of the fennel. You can round a little bit the edge. And so you get a piece of fennel like that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Which has a nice little shape. And then you cook it on with olive oil, a little bit of fennel sticks, and chicken stock, which I can add a little bit more here. And you get this wonderful fennel confit in a way.
Right. We did this a little bit earlier. How long did it take to get to that stage?
Oh, as long as the heart of fennel is nice and tender.
About 10 minutes, yeah?
10, 15 minutes.
So our wine is reducing. Our fennel is now confit with a little bit of chicken stock and some olive oil. Got some hot oil here. We're going to cook the figs, yeah?
Exactly. You're going to roast the figs.
Yeah, I can roast the figs.
So the idea also is to put a little bit of sugar with the figs. So start them with the face of the fig down a little bit. Here is a little spatula. So you start them all like this.
Face down?
Yeah.
How much sugar's in there, Daniel?
Just a little half a teaspoon, basically. And then after, we're going to deglaze with the balsamic vinegar there. And those are what we call black mission fig. They're wonderful. Beautiful. Of course, sometimes there's also the big green fig, but I found them a little more maybe sweet as well.
So basically what you want me to do here is just caramelize a little bit with fig balsamic vinegar.
Yes, so if you don't have a fig balsamic, you can use balsamic and you can maybe infuse some figs inside as well to just get a nice fig balsamic flavor. So now we have our reduction, which is almost getting there, and we're gonna finish it with some butter inside, just like a beurre rouge.
Like a beurre rouge?
Absolutely.
Which is a red beurre blanc.
But we'll finish it with a little bit of lemon juice inside to balance out now the acidity you need, necessity.
Good.
Perfect. Go ahead, turn them all.
Turn them all?
Yeah. Beautiful, you're a good chef, Matt.
Yeah, I'm all right, huh?
I'm really impressed. Voila, so just a little deglaze. We stop the fire.
Right, so we're just deglazing it?
Perfect.
They look fantastic.
And that give a nice acidity to the fig, but still keep that complexity in it.
So, Danielle, I think our sauce is done.
Yeah.
Should we check on the fish?
Absolutely. Yeah, bring it right there.
Gonna put the probe in there?
Yes.
So it's been about 20 minutes, hasn't it?
Yes. You see, 55?
55.
54,
Perfect.
55.
Perfect. We'll just let that rest for 10 minutes?
For a few minutes,
Yeah.
while the clay is just giving a finishing baking to the salmon. While we do that,
We'll make
I'm
the
gonna
salad?
actually, I'm gonna decorate the tray. I had a tray here with some leaves, so that will be nice to move it out of here. Of course, it's hot, so.
For the texture of that clay now, it's gone
Rock
hard.
solid. So I think it'll be nice to decorate that with a couple of figs here because, you know, at the restaurant, for example, if I'm serving this to you, I want to make sure that I make you a nice presentation.
Yeah, of course.
But even, I think, for the young chef there, it's definitely something quite easy to do.
The great thing I like about this dish is the clay can be done, the fish can be ready to go in the oven. So when your guests arrive, you just put it straight in the oven. That's the only thing you're doing.
Exactly. That can be done even a day ahead. And I'm using also some baby fennel. And if you don't have that, you can use the big fennel and shave it very finely into shavings of fennels. And that we're going to make a little salad with also some rocket.
Rocket lettuce. So with this here, you put that in ice water to get that all curly?
Yes, exactly. And I think the idea is to keep the spirit of the dish into the platter.
Yep. Danielle, that looks fantastic.
Yes.
That's been 10 minutes now. Time to crack it open?
Yeah, absolutely. The best is to crack it like an egg, almost.
Wow, that looks fantastic.
I don't want to smash the salmon, but I want to smash the clay. Voila, look at that. Now let's take the...
Wow. Smells great.
So you see the salmon starting to cook on the outside lightly, on the edge.
So it's really still nice and pink too.
Let me cut through the salmon a little bit, like this.
Oh, look at that.
So I'll do 2 wedge. One for you, one for me.
That is cooked absolutely perfect.
Voila, so you can see it, and really the clay carry a very, very slow baking by resting for about 10 minutes. After the clay get hot, you let the clay bake the salmon.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like barely cooked. And
yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
So now, add a little bit of the fennels. And the figs. The fig, we're gonna put 2 figs. And we have a little bit of salad that you can choose where you want to put it, but it's nice to do a little around the salmon. Voila, like that.
That looks perfect. All right, I'll just get in there and do mine.
And now we're gonna drizzle the reduction of wine and just a little bit around like that.
Thanks, Danielle.
Ladies and gentlemen, baked salmon with fennels and fig.
Now, I think it's time that we did a little bit of a tasting, Danielle, don't you think?
Yes, I think so.
Who do you think we should get up? Kate and Hayden?
Yes.
Yeah? Come on,
I haven't
guys.
seen Billy also.
Billy also? Come on, Billy.
Yeah, I think we have enough for 3.
There you go, guys.
That,
There's
please.
a fork. Go for it, guys.
You all have a fork?
The salmon is so pink. It's still beautiful.
And you see the spice can sort of seal the top.
Oh, look at that. Perfectly cooked, huh?
can really taste the fennel on the salmon, and I haven't even eaten much fennel at all.
And the pigs?
I love the sweetness of the fig with the aniseed of the fennel. It just goes so well.
Hayden, what do you think?
I think it's lovely. It's got the fruitiness, the sharpness from the fennel and that sauce, and then that just beautiful fresh fish. Even though it's got those spices on there, you've still got that taste of the sea.
Kate, give us your thoughts.
Apart from the beautifully fresh flavour, I think the other thing I noticed is just the texture, the crunch of the arugula with the softness of the figs and the fish. It just, everything's going on at the same time. It's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, guys. Sit down.
Thank you.
Thank you. Top.
So tell me, Danielle, what are your top tips for this dish?
Well, I will say to work with the clay. You make sure that you leave at least a good 1-inch border and seal that very well. And for the fennel, when you cut in wedge, you keep the heart of the fennel in order to keep the wedge together, so it cooks a little bit more uniformly that way.
Danielle, thank you for showing us your beautiful food. It was a pleasure for me to actually watch also. Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Matt.
And thank you for showing us a little bit of your New York. And we'll see you hopefully
in
down,
Sydney.
Yeah,
I'll
Australia.
come and see you.
Today we're doing a private masterclass of New York City with Gary and George. I'm just pumped, I'm really excited, it's going to be awesome.
We're going to have pizza, we've got bagels, everything that speaks New York.
Welcome to our own little private masterclass and a tour of New York's most iconic food hotspots. So first one, Grimaldi's Pizzeria here in Brooklyn, arguably the best pizza in New York. This place has collected more awards than any other pizzeria in America. So you know this place, no reservations, cash only, love that, and people queue for hours down the street just to get in. The thing I love, it's got a 100-year-old coal-fired pizza oven, which means to me that the pizzas have got to be good. So we thought we'd bring you here and you get a few little tips and tricks about how to make the perfect New York-style pizza. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Marco, hello. How are you? Thanks
Marco.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us in the kitchen at Grimaldi's. These are our two wonderful contestants, Michael and Alana. They want to learn everything about how to make the best pizza New York has to offer.
First of all, stretch it up. Stretch it up the pizzas.
Stretch the dough, yeah.
And
So, guys, you're going to have a go?
Yeah.
Here, Alana, one for you. George, you're not going to make one?
Why not? I'm in the mood.
What's the trick? Push it?
Yeah, push it, yes, push.
George has got perfect little chubby fingers for this.
Perfect.
Works brilliantly.
Yeah.
Good, I reckon Michael's got it down pat.
Michael, that's looking good.
Ah, so there's another bit. Ah, here we go. Off you go. Come on, Michael. Come on, Alana.
Oh, God. You know, it's going to be a disaster.
So for a New York pizza, it has to be quite thin?
Yeah, quite.
Yeah. All right. So keep going.
Yeah.
Alana, I love that. That's beautiful. You can almost see your hands through that. That's the sort of pizza I love. Thin crust.
Ooh. Yeah, thin crust.
Yeah, beautiful.
OK, Marco, the bases are done. What's the next step? Yeah, put the cheese and then toppings. And what cheese is this? Fresh mozzarella. Fresh mozzarella. Can we taste some? Yep. Yeah. Here, guys. Okay. What do you think, guys?
It'll be really good when it's nice and melted with pepperoni.
And then put tomato sauce. Do you make that tomato sauce in-house? Yeah. What's the recipe? Fresh tomato. Just fresh tomato, nothing else? No, nothing. Are you sure?
Yeah.
And basil.
Fresh basil?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I put black pepper and oregano. So you put pepper and oregano on there? And olive oil. Ah. Next to put the grated cheese, you can take it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, salty, it's like Parmesan.
Yeah, like Parmesan?
Nice.
How long will that take to cook in the oven? 2-3 minutes. 2-3 minutes. Yeah. Wow.
That's what you call a hot oven.
Just in time to crack a beer. Yep. Oh, good. Woohoo! Oh, here we go, guys.
It's ready.
Here comes the pizza. Go, Marco.
Oh, Marco.
That was quick, right? 2-3 minutes? It's that massive coal-fired oven. Love it.
Oh.
Let's go.
Come on, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, and that's a mark of a good pizza, right? Oh. Marco, that is beautiful. Is that nice or what?
Best pizza ever, I think.
Yeah.
That's awesome, mate. Thank you so much.
Delicious. Thank you. What I love about this pizza is simple toppings, good quality ingredients, absolutely delicious. Have a look at you.
Yeah, she's loving it.
I think the base is a real star. Like
well, you can see, look how fluffy it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still got all the lightness in the air in there. And some flavour from that coal fire oven. It's got a little bit of that, you know, smoky, oveny flavour.
You know what I'm pleased about?
This cheese is...
I don't live next door to Grimaldi's because I'll be as big as a house. Marco, I think we need to leave you to it. You've got about 100 customers in here. So you crack on with the pizza and we'll keep eating. Thanks very much. Thanks to you, Marco. And thanks to Grimaldi's. Good stuff.
When we return,
Anthony Bourdain rates it as his favourite place to eat at.
a New York City institution that boasts a truly amazing food history.
And Daughters in 1930 was very controversial.
And they have New York's finest bagels.
You can each make a sandwich for Gary and George.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
I'm in New York City. I'm on a foodie tour with George and Gary. We've already been to Grimaldi's Pizza. I'm not sure where we're going next, but I can't wait to find out.
This is the perfect day for me. We're going on a private tour of New York's iconic food spots, and I'm having the time of my life. Exploring a city by its food is the best way to do it.
All right. What makes the New York food scene so exciting is the mix of cultures. The Jewish dietary laws dictate that meat and dairy couldn't be sold together. As a result, two different types of stores sprang up together. Now, this place is called an appetizer, opposed to a deli. Now, there's a difference between the two. A deli is a place where they sold meats, where an appetizer is a place where they sold cured fish, caviar, bagels, and dairy. Now, up until the 60s, there was about 30 or so of these appetizer stores throughout the Lower East Side. Now, there's only 2 left. And this one here, Russ and Daughters, is the best. Anthony Bourdain rates it as his favourite place to eat at. Now, this place is renowned for the best bagels here in New York City.
You know why you got to come here? Cream cheese and smoked salmon bagel. And guess what you're going to learn how to make? Yum!
Cream cheese and smoked
Let's
salmon
go.
bagel.
Have a look at this. Hi, guys.
Welcome.
This is Josh and Nikki. They run and own this beautiful place.
Hi,
So
guys.
we're going to pass you over to them and you might learn a few little tips and tricks. We'll wait on the other side and wait for some little nibbles. Is that okay?
I think we can find something delicious in here for you.
Good stuff. Excited?
Enjoy.
Yes,
Good
can't
stuff.
wait to get
Off you go.
Well, welcome to Russ and Daughters, guys. You're standing in actually a New York landmark shop. Dash and I are the 4th generation of the Russ family to continue this tradition. The business was started by our great-grandfather, Joel Russ, 100 years ago.
It's actually in that portrait up
Yeah.
there, looking down on us.
Yeah, he kind of has Mona Lisa eyes. Like wherever you are in the store, he follows you, so he keeps us in line. He didn't have any sons, but he had 3 gorgeous daughters. In 1930, he actually changed the name to Russ and Daughters. And this is the first business in the United States that honors women's participation in a business. And Daughters in 1930 was very controversial. But here we are, we're now the great-grandchildren.
What you see in front of you is all different smoked fishes, whitefish, chubs. This is a hot smoked salmon as opposed to a cold smoked salmon. So this salmon is smoked at a temperature of about 120 degrees, maybe a little more. Let's taste a couple other different things because there's so many offerings here. I'm gonna give you a taste of a salmon that's not smoked, but only cured. And this is gravlax. It's cured in lemon and dill. Sometimes there's a little alcohol put in there.
How long do they take to cure usually?
This could be done in 2-3 days, but it depends on the fish, the size of the fish, and what you're curing it with. So moving on, we're gonna give you a taste of what we call pickled lox. It is eaten usually with pickled onions.
You're real pros, just eat it with your hands, right?
Nice, right?
That's really good.
One of my favorites is whitefish and baked salmon salad, and wasabi-infused flying fish roe is amazing. Try that.
Beautiful, thank you. That is really good.
Another thing you have to try here is chopped liver. This is something that brings people back to their roots. You can think of it as Jewish foie gras. So it's a fresh chicken liver, schmaltz, which is rendered chicken fat, caramelized onions, eggs, some seasoning. What's the word, Master Chefs?
That's beautiful. It's similar to foie gras, but it is a lot more textural, I think.
It's a lot sweeter.
Yeah, sweeter.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. One thing we haven't touched on is the bagel. A bagel is hand-rolled, water-boiled, and baked. Quintessential New York food.
Slicing salmon is quite an art. Let's have you try your hand at slicing. Come back here, and what I'll have you do is just observe me slicing a few slices, and then you'll try your hands. Basically, what you're trying to do is make an even thickness in a slice. If you do big strokes, you'll be more likely to tear the salmon. All right, who's up first?
Ladies first.
Okay.
Good luck.
Now, the tendency is to come out of the fish, so you're going to point that knife a little into it, but not too much, very lightly. Not bad.
Very good. All right, Mikey, you'll go. Michael has very good knife skills.
Oh, really?
Is that too thick?
Yep. But you know what? That's pretty good.
That's good, Mikey.
So your knife skills aren't bad. You could maybe use a little work, but now we'll take these slices that you've made, and you can each make a sandwich for Gary and George.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
All right, let's make some sandwiches. Here's a bagel for you.
Thank you.
A bagel for you. You can cut it with that serrated knife. Well, you do have some finesse cutting a bagel, that's for sure.
Takes a long time, though.
Would I get a job cutting bagels?
You're too slow.
Too slow. Oh.
All right, let's grab some cream cheese for those bagels. You want just evenly distributed.
Yum.
Let's get some of those beautiful slices that you guys made. Looks good, guys.
It does.
Beautiful.
Just one more thing, you gotta cut them in half.
Right, guys, how'd you go?
We got a couple of bagels for you.
Have you?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, that's good because I'm starving.
Beautiful.
I've been standing
That's
at the
the
window
thin one.
just salivating. Oh.
One's got a bit more salmon on it for you. Yeah.
Josh, now I know why this is a tourist destination and everybody comes, because this is amazing.
And what is beautiful is that bagel is delicious. Well, what an amazing experience you two have had, huh?
Unbelievable.
And so have we.
Well, it was a real pleasure having you guys
so
in.
much
Yeah,
for
thank you.
spending the
It was
time
great
to
having
teach you
you.
guys, but not only that, giving your story. That is an amazing family history, and to see you guys continue that is absolutely beautiful.
Good stuff. Right, we got to get out of here. Busy place. They need to get back on with their work. Next New York destination. But first of all, got to take my bagel. Thanks, Josh.
You're welcome.
Thank
Good
you,
to see you guys.
It was awesome. We'll be
It's been a
back.
pleasure.
New York is full of culinary landmarks that are known all around the world. Carnegie Deli, which is just across road from Carnegie Hall, has been there since 1937. Some people say they make the best sandwich in the world. The deli's operated by a classic New Yorker who's agreed to come in today to show us the ultimate sandwich and how to make it. Please welcome Sandy Levine. How are you, Sandy?
Hi, everybody. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
I'm Sandy Levine of the Carnegie Deli. The stars at the Carnegie Deli are our sandwiches. We have a special sandwich, which is a combination of pastrami and corned beef. Call it the Broadway Danny Rose. It weighs about 1.5 pounds. And if you can put your mouth around it, we made a mistake. To make a great sandwich, you need great meat, good bread, a good mustard, and a crunchy pickle.
Were you around then in 1937?
No, I wasn't around in 1937. But I am not a CEO, I'm not a COO, and I'm not a CFO.
Right.
I got a terrific degree. It's called an MBD degree.
What's an MBD?
Nobody has ever heard of this.
No?
You got to be from Brooklyn, New York to understand this.
Yeah, right.
I married the boss's daughter. You got that, kids? Straight to the top. You don't have to do this.
So, Sandy, what New York classic are you going to show the contestants today?
What we're going to show them is a very traditional sandwich that goes back almost 40, 50 years in New York City. It's called a Reuben. And we're going to be making today a corned beef Reuben.
I love a good Reuben sandwich. How are we going to start? What do we start with?
First, we start with a brisket. Brisket is the shoulder part of a cow. And there are two parts to the brisket.
Yep.
As you can see, we have a piece that goes straight across, and then we have a piece underneath. The piece underneath is called the decal. And that's the fatty piece of the brisket.
Which is the best piece as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, fat rules. You must have fat in your meat because fat is where the flavor is. If you have it lean, it has no taste.
So this has already been cured?
Yeah, this has been pickled.
Yep.
After we pickle it, we let it sit for a while. We'll let it sit for 2 or 3 days so the spices can go all the way through into the meat.
Yep. Just between you and I, what are the spices you use?
75 years. You think I'm... this is the Coca-Cola recipe of the deli business. It ain't gonna happen.
All right, not gonna happen. All right.
No matter what you do.
So we've pickled it with this legendary spices, and now we're ready to cook it. In boiling water or stock?
No, we take plain boiling water and we add some spices to it.
That's obviously a secret too, is it?
Yes, it's a secret spice. And what that does, that's adding more flavor to the cooking process.
So there's about 4 tablespoons of spices there. So we're just going to put that straight into the boiling water,
that's right.
Sandy. And then we're going to put in our brisket. How long are we going to cook that for?
We're going to cook that for approximately 2.5 hours.
Let's put that on there. 2.5 hours, guys. Now, the other really important part is the Russian dressing.
Yes.
Who should we get up to make it for us?
Billy, come on up.
All right.
Come on up, Billy.
Come on, Billy.
All right, Billy, I'm going to leave it up to you. Sandy's going to explain how to make the perfect Russian dressing.
Okay, so first, let's get some mayonnaise.
How much should I put in?
Go.
More?
Yeah, one more.
One more.
Good. Next ingredient we use is some ketchup. Squeeze it in, baby. That's good.
Okay.
Now, I want you to whip that. Give it a good whip. Notice the color is becoming a nice pinkish color. Great. It's enough. Don't kill it. The next thing we do is we use some relish. That's a little spice that gives a little kick to the Russian dressing. Whisk it again. And now you can use a little touch of Worcestershire sauce.
Just a little bit.
Good, 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 good. Beautiful, beautiful. Very nice. Let me give it a little taste. Very good.
Yeah.
Taste it. Taste it. Excellent.
I'm curious.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.
Thank
you.
you.
Down now.
Thanks.
Right, so what next, Sandy?
Sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is basically a cabbage which stays in a brine.
Yep.
It's vinegar and salt. It's put into a jar, and there again, it's aged until the flavor comes out.
All right, here's a piece that we cooked a little bit earlier. It's been there for 2.5 hours. Let's get it out. Oh, I can smell it as soon as you open that lid. Wow, look at that. That looks like a nice piece of meat, Sandy. Are you going to let me do the honours of carving it?
Yes, I'm going to let you do it, but I hope you know what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I know what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the top bit of the brisket off.
Yeah, it's called the decal.
The decal.
That's it, cut right through. Oh, very good. Now, what you're doing, you're separating it into what we call the first cut, the lean part of the brisket. Now, what you got to do is take out the grizzle. That's it. Take out a guy. Beautiful. You need a day job? Now, trim your decal a little bit. Perfect. And you see, you still have some fat left on there.
Yeah.
Look at those beautiful slices, and look at that juice, the spice. Look at that.
Is that enough for one sandwich?
You're at the Carnegie Deli. A Reuben gets a pound and a half. We have a motto in our restaurant. You can't leave until you finish. And then if you finish, we made a mistake. Okay, I think you got it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. That's the decal, which has got that beautiful fat through it.
Right.
And that's the first cut. That's a little bit leaner. I can see the leanness of it.
It is.
So we just mix them up together, yeah?
Yes, we do.
All right. I reckon we're nearly ready to plate. Now, our bread and our cheese. What cheese do we have there, Sandy?
We use Swiss cheese.
And the bread?
Rye bread. If someone comes in and asks for white bread, we throw you out. Because we think you're from outer space. You're coming to my place, you're gonna eat it my way, or the highway.
All right, Sandy, I think it's now time for you to weave your magic and show me how to make the sandwich.
Thank you. We played it. And what we do with this bread is we lay it out, flat. Then we take our meat, just put it on.
Got enough there?
I think we got enough there.
Put it on!
Kick it up a notch. Come on. That's the difference. Sauerkraut. Our cheese. We put it right on top.
Oh my God. This looks good.
Yeah, and it's even going to taste better.
All right, Sandy, what happens to it now? We've got the cheese on top?
Yes, but it's not finished off right because we have to melt the cheese, and the cheese will melt into the sauerkraut, into the meat, and it's going to taste delicious when I take it out.
I think that's ready, Sandy. I'll grab it for you. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Very hot. So how do you finish that, Sandy?
We're just going to take a little parsley, dress it off a little bit.
Some pickles?
Put a pickle on one side, and put a half sour, a sour pickle. We present the Russian dressing, and we serve it. Here it is, the world-famous Carnegie Deli corned beef Reuben.
That looks absolutely to die for. I can't believe that we're going to actually give someone a taste of it. Who wants to eat it? Come on, Ellie, I know you want it.
Come on, Ellie.
And Danny, come on, Danny. There you go. So, Danny, there's your Reuben.
Do you use a knife and fork?
Yes. Yeah. How else are you going to eat it?
I don't know. I don't know how to tackle this piece.
Put a little Russian dressing on it.
Oh, it looks amazing.
And then you can have a pickle.
That's really good. Actually, really good.
It's the best sandwich I've ever had.
All right.
Do we have another bite?
You can have as much as you want.
It's really yummy.
Yum.
I like the corned beef.
All right, guys, back in your seats.
Thank you.
So, Sandy, with the Reuben sandwich, what would be the 3 most important tips?
Naturally, the pickling of the meat. That's the most important thing, is to get the meat at the great flavor. Second is the dressing. You got to have the right mix of a Russian dressing. That adds a little more flavor to it. And the mix of the meat. You must have the top part, the decal, and the first part, and you got a perfect Reuben sandwich.
Sandy, I have to say, that is the best Reuben sandwich I've ever seen. You are an absolute legend. Thank you so much for coming in and showing these guys how to make the ultimate Reuben sandwich.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Michael and I are having a great day with Gary and George. We're on a food tour in New York City. I can't wait to get to the next spot and check out what we're going to be eating.
Here we are. So this is it, Dos Toros, taqueria. This is one of the hot spots in West Village. Two brothers brought this concept over from California and as a homage to great Mexican food. So these guys are going to teach you how to do the perfect burrito, and that just might suit you, right?
Because didn't you win the challenge the other day?
I did, yeah, Mexican-style food cart. I cooked a soft-shell taco.
Michael, I love this whole performance. It's fantastic. This is exactly what we asked you to do. We're here just for you, Michael. Come on. Miguel, how are you going? Tyler, how are you? Please meet Michael and Alana, our two trainees.
How's it going?
They want to learn how to make New York's best burrito. So we'll wait out front and wait for something tasty to eat.
Good luck, guys. Learn lots. Yeah.
All right, guys, the first thing we're gonna do is the salsa verde. It's a mixture of jalapenos, onions, tomatillos, and garlic. So we're gonna roast the peppers first. If you like, you can just throw half of that in the grill. And what this do is maximize the flavor of the peppers. We don't grill all the peppers because the sauce is medium and that will make the sauce way too spicy. So what we're looking for here is this, a little bit of color and half of the pepper.
So how long do you have to cook the peppers for?
They'll take about 15 to 20 minutes to completely cook. These guys are done, so if you would, just please take them off the grill. All right, so to make this sauce, we use tomatillos, which is actually a fruit. It's not a vegetable. You can taste it. It's not really bitter like other tomatoes. This gives a particular flavor to our sauce. And we're gonna pour those roasted peppers into this guy right here, along with all the rest of the ingredients. We use 4/4 onions, roasted peppers. The next thing is the fresh jalapenos. Now we need to make some.
So Miguel, there was water in the bottom at the start. Why is that?
We're gonna steam everything before we start cooking it. What we're trying to do is maximize the flavor of the peppers. And now we're gonna add the tomatillos. And the last two ingredients are the garlic, and finally we add the salt. So it has equal amounts of jalapenos and tomatillos, garlic, salt, and onions. We're gonna let this boil away for about 30 minutes while we make some guacamole. We have some avocados, essential ingredient of our guacamole. The first thing we do, we smash the avocados. if you would.
Guacamole, you make that fresh every day? Do you have to? You
We
can't
make
keep
this
it?
fresh about every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours?
Every 2 hours.
Wow.
We don't keep anything overnight. Everything's fresh every morning.
Beautiful.
How's that?
That looks perfect.
Perfect?
Yes.
Awesome.
Now we're gonna add salt.
So how many avocados did you have in that mix?
36.
36.
Yes.
And what was that, 3 tablespoons?
Four tablespoons. The next ingredient is our salsa, or pico de gallo. It's a mix of cilantro, tomato, and onions.
We call cilantro coriander in Australia.
Great.
Bit different, same stuff, but different.
All right.
That's a good stirring technique to get it all mixed.
You need to bring everything out of the bowl. All right, now we're gonna taste it. Here's some chips, guys.
Ah, yum. Dig in.
Yeah. Yes, please.
And the cilantro, the coriander is beautiful.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I love the Spanish onion. It gives it a nice little bite.
Yes.
I'm going in again.
Absolutely.
Why not one more, eh?
Okay, guys, this is the chicken we're gonna be cooking. It's been marinated for a couple of days in lime juice, tomato, and salt. It's a really good flavor to the chicken.
What's the tomato juice in there for?
Tomatoes have the property of breaking molecules, so it makes the chicken a little softer. All right, it's time to cook, and we do this on the grill. So the way we lay the chicken is skin side down first, so the chicken doesn't stick too much to the grill. The next step is the seasoning. It contains paprika, white pepper, black pepper, garlic, and salt. Whenever the chicken starts changing color on the outside, that's when we need to turn it.
How long do you cook it for?
About 15 minutes. Okay, guys, our salsa verde is ready. So if you would, grab that blender, and we're gonna start mixing them.
How's that?
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right, so once all the easy cooking stuff is done, it's now for like the real assembly. So we got the hot sauce made, we got the guac already made, the pico, got the chicken, lovely, freshly cut. We're gonna add a little rice to that too to flesh it out. And then we got the tortilla, and I've lightly steamed the cheese on, and it gives it a nice kind of like malleable form. So we start with the rice, we add that in, add in the chicken, the nice little protein to it, and then top it off with some of the zesty pico, add the guac, just want to slap it across, disperse it evenly throughout. And then finally, to top it off, we got the salsa verde that you guys slaved over earlier. Bring it in, you want to fold over here, bring this over, tuck it in, and complete it with a nice little roll. The foil is another tricky part. Bring that over, tuck it in again, crimp the edges, and then you're good to go. Let's get Alana over here.
All right.
Start it off.
Okay, we've got the rice, chicken, a little bit of salsa. Oh, now.
Final touch.
Magic sauce.
Ah, nice. All right.
There we go.
Gary and George are out front. I think they're kind of hungry. Let's see what they think.
Okay.
Oh, the anticipation.
Yeah, sit down, sit. Did you have a bit of fun in the kitchen?
It was a little bit of fun, yeah.
Making burritos.
What burritos are these?
Chicken burritos.
Chicken burrito.
I thought you might be hungry.
Oh.
We got to make a salsa verde, a green salsa. Lots of jalapenos, lots of tomatillas. Yeah, the jalapenos.
Whoa.
Have you found the hot sauce?
Whoa,
I got the hot sauce.
The salsa's just got some tomato, onions, a bit of coriander.
What I love is that tortilla is so soft. This is a whole meal in one, isn't it?
Yeah. Mate, this is absolutely
delicious.
Bang on, it's delicious.
Hey? Absolutely beautiful.
The problem with New York is you can never be slim here. There is so much good food, it is absolutely ridiculous. And you guys, you must have had an absolutely brilliant week. It's been absolutely top. Think of what we've done, think of what we've seen.
It's been a fabulous week, but it's time to go back to Sydney.
But you know, before we do that, one more burrito.
Yep.
As you've already seen, New Yorkers love their food, but they also love their desserts. They're everywhere, you know, from classic desserts to the most modern desserts. So what we've done today, we've invited one of America's top pastry chefs. We're talking multiple awards and even voted in the top 10 pastry chefs in America. Let's welcome executive pastry chef from the New York Marriott Marquis, Mr. Steve Evans. Steve.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Welcome, Steve. How are you?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
Very well.
I'm Steve Evans, Executive Pastry Chef at the Marriott Marquis, New York. My philosophy on pastry is break every rule in the book. We used to have to follow recipes and be very strict. Now, anything goes. Our pastries at the Marriott Marquis are very, very inventive. We get very experimental. Going outside of the box gives us so much freedom, and we're certainly doing it.
So, Steve, the Marriott Marquis, it's a pretty big hotel. What's it like to be the executive pastry chef?
It's exciting. Every day is totally different. We can be doing a banquet for 2,000 and a VIP party for 10, but they still take both at the same time.
So you obviously have a big team.
Yeah, I have 18 pastry cooks, senior sous chef, a sous chef, stewards. Yeah, it's great.
So you get in there yourself and get stuck into it?
Oh, definitely, yes. It's hard not to.
So, Steve, really excited to see what is under that cloche. Can you please reveal it?
I certainly can. Wow. We actually have 13 components to this particular dessert, but we're just going to show you 3 today. The first one will be the coffee oxygen, the second will be this pistachio microwave sponge, and the third one will be the rhubarb and strawberry compote underneath.
I would suspect if you were going to do the whole 13, it would take you hours.
It will probably take you about 6 to 7 hours, yes.
Steve, I'm fascinated by what is on that spoon. What is that?
That's what we call a rhubarb spherical.
Right.
It's a combination of chemicals with the rhubarb puree, a little vanilla, and a little sugar.
So what do we do with it?
Well, what we do, actually, we break it open. We have a sauce that's going to come out.
Oh, wow.
Like this. And just drizzle over your pistachio sponge.
Wow.
Okay.
Yum. I think it's time to learn something. What's the first component we're going to do, Steve?
We're going to do the coffee oxygen first.
So there's not a lot of components to it, is there?
We have 5 items.
Yep.
That's all. 125 grams of water.
Yep.
125 grams of egg white. 100 grams of sugar. 15 grams of egg white powder.
Egg white powder?
Yeah, this gives it stability. And 5 grams of espresso coffee, instant coffee.
Now, is that American coffee?
Yes.
So we just whip it all up, do we?
Yep, we're going to put the blades down.
Yep.
Whip it on high speed, higher the better. So we're going to get the egg whites combining with the liquids and the coffee.
So, Steve, how long do we have to whip it for?
Approximately 2 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ready?
I think that's done.
Fantastic.
I think we're done.
See that, guys? Can I eat it?
Yeah.
What do we do with it now, Steve?
We're now going to pipe it into some parchment paper cylinders.
All right. Love that consistency, yeah?
Gonna snip off the end a little bit. Okay, Matt, so if you want to hold a cylinder, it should fill the cylinder out.
Wow.
This is something we would probably do for about 2,000, believe it or not.
Kate, you had a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask, with the egg white powder, is that simply dehydrated egg white, or are there other things added to it?
Correct. It's dehydrated egg whites, but it does have a stabilizer in as well. With egg whites, if you sometimes crack your eggs, put your whites into a bowl, the slightest bit of grease in the bowl will flatten them. So this stabilizes not only the egg whites, but also gives you volume.
Right, so Steve, what do we do with this now?
They go into the oven for 3 hours, 100 degrees Celsius.
No worries, I'll put them in for you.
Thanks.
So, Steve, one of your components is in the oven, coffee oxygen. What's up next?
Okay, we're now going to make our pistachio microwave sponge.
So, Steve, we're going to get someone up here to help you.
Yeah, who's Hayden? Cool. Let's go.
What a catch.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
It's me. Very good. Oh, thank you.
Here. All right, so, again, these ingredients, 5, as we did with the coffee oxygen. Okay, so let's start with these gorgeous pistachios. Now, we can use this dish with any nuts.
How many grams are there, Steve?
We've got 60 grams. So let's go with our egg whites. We've got 45 grams of egg whites, and there's 80 grams of egg yolks, 45 grams of sugar.
That's just a caster sugar, is it, Steve?
Yeah. And 25 grams of pastry flour. Okay, put the top on. We're going to blend the hell out of it and see what we get. Let that go for about 2 minutes. Okay,
wow, that
see?
looks fine.
Yeah, nicely blended. Now, With this, we're going to put the whole thing in the refrigerator for 2 hours.
All right, Hayden, love your work. You can sit back down again.
Thank you, Steve.
Good job, mate.
Appreciate it.
So, Steve, that's 2 components done. We've got our oxygen in the oven. We've got our sponge in our fridge. We're going to come back, we're going to do our strawberry and rhubarb compote and cook our sponge. Here we are with the executive pastry chef extraordinaire from the New York Marriott Marquis, Steve Evetts, doing your amazing dish called Red. Components are done. We've got our oxygen in the oven. We've just pulled out your pistachio sponge from the fridge for 2 hours. What do we do with it now, Steve?
OK, Hayden, come on down again.
Oh.
You learn in this industry, you never leave a job unfinished. OK, we're going to put it on the blender again. Give that a whirl. OK, we're going to take it out of the bowl, pour it into your sieve, and pass it through the sieve. This is going to get rid of any little pieces of the nuts. That's it, just pour it all in. That looks good. OK, next thing we're going to do is put it into our cylinder. OK, get it all in.
See that, Hayden? Not one drop spilt.
Very good.
OK, and with our top, you've used one of these?
No, never.
No. Now, we're going to cook it in these cups, OK? But what we do, we cut 3 little slits in the bottom, and in a microwave, if we didn't do this, there wouldn't be enough heat or aeration going through, OK? It would still be liquid in the bottom of the cup. Put a couple of cups out. Look at that, it's like ice cream.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Good stuff. OK, so we're going to put this in the microwave for 40 seconds.
Great, Hayden. Well done, buddy. You can sit back down again.
Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
So, Steve, half the mixture into a cup. Obviously, in the microwave, we can't put it on a tray. So let's put it on the plate. How long for?
40 seconds.
Is that on high, Steve?
Yep, 900 watt.
900 watt. Bing. Wow, Steve. Yeah. So that's cooked.
It's cooked. Now we're going to cool this down.
Yep.
OK? When it's cool, we're going to cut the cup off, and we have a great little sponge.
Just put that over there and cool it. Don't even need a cake rack. So, Steve, 2 elements done. 3rd element, I have to say, rhubarb is one of my favourite things to cook with. What are we doing?
We're just doing a little compote of strawberries and rhubarb. A little vanilla, butter, sugar, and the little secret ingredient is our cherry balsamic. When you think about pastry, you think about the 3 T's: texture, taste, and temperature. OK? So with this is going to be our bottom element. And all we're going to do, get our pan on, a bit of butter, using a vanilla pod. And you probably have seen this before, but all we do is split it down the centre, and we're going to scrape the seeds out. OK? See, there's all our beans. It's going to go into our pan. OK, so we just swirl this around a little, make sure that the vanilla disperses. We're going to add our sugar.
How much sugar is in there, Steve?
Approximately a tablespoon.
And butter?
It's exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. So we're just getting our sugar and butter nice and hot with our vanilla. Get some flavour in there. I'm going to add the cherry balsamic at this stage to give it a bit of liquid. Not too much, because it's fairly acidic.
Yeah, right.
OK? Now, because our strawberries are a little more tender than the rhubarb, so we're going the rhubarb first.
Yep. How much rhubarb's there?
60 grams.
60 grams.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to add 60 grams of strawberries. And all we're going to do is just coat the strawberries with our balsamic and sugar. So there we go. That's finished.
Right, Steve, 3 components are done. I think it's time now you to weave some magic and plate it up.
OK. First, we're going to do a little fluid liquid.
Yep.
This consists of beet, raspberry, and watermelon. It's almost like a gel. OK, we're then going to take our rhubarb. You smell it?
Yeah, it smells beautiful. You get that beautiful caramel in there too.
OK, mate, if you'd like to get our sponge, we're going to cut down the side. OK, pull the sides apart. OK, just run your knife on the bottom.
Wow, look at that.
Not bad, eh? 40-second sponge. OK, so we're going to tear this apart a bit. You'll see the texture. See how light it is? Just going to put this randomly on top of the compote. Okay. Let's get one of our coffee oxygens.
Wow, it's so light.
Yeah. I have a cork. Okay, we're going to put that directly on there. Okay, then we can kind of get most of our components on now. I'm going to put a little bit of vanilla salt on top of the oxygen. What goes next with salt? Anybody?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Here's some nice chocolate curls that we make. Then we have various little components here. We're going to put some pop rocks just in a groove down here. This is where our ice cream is going to go. Have some nice golden raspberries here. I'm going to cut them in half, randomly put them around the plate. We're then going to take a little bit of our raspberry jelly, and this is jelly made with agar, and just randomly put this around the plate. We then have some of our bull's blood microgreens, and this is merely for colour. I have a nice shard of rhubarb, dehydrated for approximately 4 hours. I'll just put that on the side. Now, I guess one thing that I'm noted for is putting glitter on everything. I think it just brings out the dessert itself. See that? It sparkles.
That's edible glitter, I hope.
Edible glitter, of course.
Is that your New Yorker bit in you, the glitter?
I guess, yeah.
You want to be on Broadway?
Well, we are on Broadway at the Marquee, so...
There you go.
Yeah. Next thing we're going to do, I've got some sphericals that I made earlier.
The little gels?
Yeah. I'm going to put that on the spoon here.
Yeah.
OK? Now, we just need the ice cream.
Yep.
We're using watermelon ice cream, again, with the theme of red. Voila, that is my red dessert.
Tasting time. Let's have Billy and Hayden. Come on. Twice. Right, guys.
Again. Thanks, mate.
I'm just gonna pop the jelly.
You can.
I gotta do it. Oh. Sorry, I'm gonna use my fingers. I got the pop rock still popping in my mouth. It's amazing. The coffee oxygen is really, really light. It just melts in the mouth instantly.
I definitely think Steve's nailed the temperature, texture, and taste. It's all there. It's really, really good. Yeah. Spot on.
Wow, that oxygen's just amazing.
It's also colourful as well.
And Billy, what do you think of the microwave sponge?
I'm actually quite surprised. Actually, the texture is really light. Actually, in 40 seconds, I think that will be very good for the challenge. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Matt.
So, Steve, tips for desserts. What would be the 3 most important tips on that plate?
Well, I think we've got to go with the 3 T's. The texture being a crunch, texture being a cream, texture being a fruit. When you're eating it, you've got those 3 elements that are in your mouth. Temperature, have a warm item on there, have a cold item, have a frozen item. It's always about the element of surprise. And of course, the most important thing is the taste. If it doesn't taste good, it doesn't matter what it looks like, nobody's going to eat it.
Steve, that dessert is an absolute treat. I hope it's inspired our contestants. So I want to thank you so much for coming here today and showing them, and hopefully we'll see you one day down in Australia.
I hope so.
Pleasure meeting you. Thanks, Steve. Guys, that's the end of our New York adventure. We're going to be back in Australia soon, but I reckon right now we sit down at that table, we have a little bit of a feast, and maybe even a little glass of wine. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
Let's do it. Okay. Dig in, start eating, get into it. I have to have a Reuben.
Yeah, Reuben.
It's a small piece.
Yeah, that's like the infant size.
I can't tell you how proud I am of you guys. You've got through New York. You're into the top 7. In a few weeks, there's only going to be one of you. That person will be Australia's next MasterChef. Congratulations. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
And I'll see you back in the MasterChef kitchen in Australia.
Yay.
Next time on MasterChef Australia. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, arrives for his lunch.
I don't know what to do.
Cooked by our contestants.
I can't believe Dalai Lama is in the kitchen.
With guidance from chef and author Kylie Kwok.
Mangosteens, they are divine.
And His Holiness.
Oh, thank you.
Each will prepare a vegetarian dish that is close to their heart. But when the pressure's on...
1 minute to go.
Buddha's delight can turn to disaster.
The whole bottom half is raw.
Who's got candied walnuts on the stove? Michael?
Yeah.
Let's just forget about that.
I think this is probably the worst ever moment that I've ever had.
Your Holiness, our contestants with your lunch.